Welcome. What is up? Welcome to the Mixer Drive to Survive edition. On this episode, we will be covering episode 2, Ace in the Hole, which follows around McLaren primarily. Or does it follow around Ferrari? I couldn't really tell, to be honest with you. But first things first, if you would like to hear more of us, find us on YouTube. It's the Mixer channel, or subscribe to our podcast. It is the Mixer Podcast. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and most podcast listening services. You can find us on social media at FCY Mixer. The only one I'm really active on is Twitter and occasionally Facebook, but we do have an Insta out there. And Jeff, as my co-patriot that will not be on this episode, he's working on the TikTok and our OnlyFans. So just, store away those pennies. But let's get into the episode. So, brief summary. Now racing for McLaren, Daniel Ricardo sets out to prove that he's still a force on the track. Meanwhile, Lando Norris puts on the pressure. Drive to Survive's Golden Boy is back in yet another new lot of team gear. Danny Rick is full of enthusiasm and excitement for the new season ahead. He gets off to a good start by beating McLaren teammate Norris in their first quali battle. However, with Lando on a run of brilliant results, including a podium in Imola, Ricardo's frustration starts to show when the team gets to Monaco. The battle between Ferrari and McLaren is also a big storyline throughout. The thing I struggle with, one of the things, there are many things, but Ricardo's last name, it's spelled Ricciardo. And I remember an interview where he explained his name's actually Italian, so it's like Ricciardo. But they moved to, or his ancestors, I shouldn't say that. That makes it feels like a long time ago, but he's like maybe third generation Australian, second. I don't know. I don't know the Ricciardo family tree. But ever since he said that, it's like the Tyrod Taylor thing. It's tough for my brain to go back. Everybody else just calls him Ricardo or Danny Rick, but my brain, wants to go with the proper one and try to showcase my linguistic skills. How this tongue can be flexible. Calm down, Pierre. Calm down, Gasly. Like I know, Big Pippin here. Pierre might be mad that I'm stealing his thunder a little bit, but anyway, so if you hear that, it's another struggle I'm having. So, yeah, this episode, Ferrari versus McLaren mainly focuses on McLaren. I don't know why the Ferrari was sloppily thrown in there. It was the editing on this one was kind of interesting, but they're trying to tell a story, and I don't think you could tell a McLaren story without referencing Ferrari in the battle for third, which I'm all about. But yeah, intro, they explain McLaren had financial woes. If a freaking multi-million-dollar auto company, probably billions of dollars, can have money problems. But that's how it's made out. Zach Brown, the team president, I don't know all their titles. It seems like they're different between the teams, but got some new sponsors in, and got Ricardo in there. And we're big Danny Rick fans. If you got problems with Danny Rick, those problems, like many of mine, are with yourself and not with the man himself. Zach Brown early on realized big fist bump guy, loves giving fist bumps. So every year around, just gets that human contact. The human body craves contact. Zach Brown, something he believes in. And as the episode went on more, I couldn't put a pin in who Zach Brown reminds me of. But I figured it out. He's like Kevin James doing a serious role on on the Formula One scene. That's who he is. He's serious Kevin James, with a job that he doesn't look qualified for, probably strictly because of his physical appearance, which is a terrible, terrible assessment by myself. But I mean, how do you go from Horner, who's horseback riding, and Toto Wolff, who stepped out of a freaking GQ calendar, and then you got Zach Brown, who you know looks like he has a hairstylist, but maybe has the same haircut as Al Davis. Another thing we get is, I mean, Lando's first appearance is golfing. So, I mean, so far, episode 2, we've got a cool golfing scene off of the track, and we got Christian Horner on horseback with a Spice Girl riding Valtteri Bottas. Her words. But Lando Norris, I didn't know what I was watching at first. I was like, who are these kids? Who are these children? Why are we showing is Zach Brown's kids? No. It's Lando and one of his friends. Like, I mean, I legitimately thought I was looking at middle schoolers. Lando looks so young. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I feel like this guy would be at the same school as my daughter when she first goes to school. And I mean, she's 3. Anyway, but I mean, the dude can drive. There's not, maybe I'm just getting old, but yeah, man. You ever do that? You ever driving and somebody pulls up next to you, you look over and you're like, there's a baby driving this car next to me. Can this kid reach the pedals? It's happened to me more often. So either the Zoomers are finding cheap access to fake IDs, or I'm getting older. Who knows? Then, my favorite after the golf scene, you know what it is. Walk-in scenes. These scenes give me Keeping Up with the Kardashian vibes. The only thing that's missing is the little skinny font. You guys ever notice that? These reality shows, a lot of kind of bougie Instagram companies, they their splash page for their products, they all got that skinny font. I don't know what it is about that skinny font, but apparently it makes you buy shit that's overpriced, that might look good in your boho studio. I don't know how these things can be communicated just via font, but I mean, the evidence is out there. So we get another walk-in scene. We get the music, there's palm trees, more Bahrain flags. If you didn't get enough of them on the first episode, you get them there. And yeah, we get Will Buxton doing his thing. I don't know, in these sit downs, the ring light does everybody's favors with their eyes. Their eyes all look amazing, and there's some narration, talk about McLaren getting Daniel Ricardo, juxtaposed with Carlos Sainz's move to Ferrari from McLaren. Jeannie Gao calls his signing a big signing, which seems generous. I mean, he's a good driver and he's done well. He's early in his career. I mean, maybe suppose getting him away from McLaren, where he had done pretty well. Maybe that's the big signing. But yeah, calling Carlos Sainz at this point in his career a big signing as a bit generous. as the episode progresses more, fist bumps. Just fist bumps everywhere. Fist bump, fist bump, fist bump, fist bump. You want a fist bump? Track guy, do you want a fist bump? Girl taking Total Wolf's orders. You want a fist bump? You good? You want a fist bump with salt? With pumpernickel? You want the fist bump on pumpernickel? No? You good? All right. There's fist bumps everywhere. Get a lot of good vibes from the McLaren team. Seems like they're they're not as serious. They're the fun team. They're not there for a long time. They're just here to have a good time. And I mean, Ricardo kind of epitomizes that. But yeah, randomly, another thing in this episode is they just keep sprinkling in Sergio Perez randomly. Maybe because he's a new face in a new place. He seems kind of awkward in front of the camera, but I mean, whatever. Perez is my dude. I fuck with Perez. I like him. Sprinkle him in. Maybe give him his feature episode. Yeah, we want the full story of Perez. Seems like the strategy of the show is to send out a team to be in the garage for a race weekend, get into the nitty gritty, do more interviews, which I'm sure the drivers love, and then sprinkling cutscenes from other races on the track stuff, and try to also sprinkle in some stuff on how the calendar or how the championship's unfolding. It's really difficult. They're trying to accomplish a lot with this format. I don't know that they've nailed it yet. It's pretty good, but it just seems kind of jarring when they, do all the profile stuff, the one-on-one interviews in front of the cameras, the confessionals, and then they try to like jam in some plot, right? They try to just jam in. Here's what happened in 3 races. Ricardo finished 12th. He did this. He did that, and it's just, I guess they have the supporting narrative about the struggles, but it's kind of tough to get the full picture of just what's going on in these races, because it's just done so quick. I mean, it's supposed to be, semi-documentary, following the season, and the driver is not so much a season review. So I get it. I just feel like they haven't quite dialed in the balance to where I would want it. But it's me picking nits again. Then we get our first controversy. Oh my god, all the controversy. Lando says he's got no sympathy for Daniel Ricardo and trying to come to grips with the new car. And I'll tell you, man, I mean, that is a juicy orange, a juicy papaya of an off the track issue. I mean, I don't even remember this being a thing, so seems like something dialed up for for the narrative of this episode, which is fine. I just never got the impression that Lando and Ricardo were ever nothing more than teammates that enjoy each other's company. I will say that it does seem like Sainz and Lando really do have like they're boys together, from being teammates in the season before. They said Carlos is funny. I've yet to see him tell a joke, so he doesn't come off as funny to me. But neither do I to a lot of people. So, to each their own. But yeah, it felt like this was was kind of playing to the cameras a little bit. But I will say something that, the controversy that I'm more interested in. We got Danny Rick coming in with some like custom Beats headphones. Their sponsor is Klipsch, the speaker company. I don't know if they make headphones. I think they do. I think they make like the little in-ear ones. They don't have the like over the ear stylish ones, which is probably why, Danny Rick's bumping the or has the Beats on for the clout in the status. But yeah, man, I mean, I don't know if you realized all the stickers on the car, but those are the ones paying for it, man. You gotta wear their shit. I mean, come on, Danny Rick. You're a pro. You're better than that. You gotta wear the sponsor stuff. Disappointed. That's the controversy I was more interested in. Is the memo from Klipsch about Danny Rick's headphones. It's kind of surprised me. I didn't realize we were gonna get Monaco this early on in episode 2, which I mean, I love Monaco, but it just kind of caught me off guard. Ricardo's struggles are well documented on this episode, and I especially enjoyed his confession, or I guess it wasn't a confession. He was talking to his handler. Again, another F1 title, I don't know, but each one of the drivers seems to have their helper. At least the good ones do. Like their assistant, their own personal assistant, and he's talking to his. And I can't remember the buildup, but he kind of comes down to it. He's like, "What if I'm just a cunt?" Yeah, man. I think that's, can relate. That I think that just encompasses all of life is what it comes down to. The struggles that you have and stuff. It's just like, what if this is just me? What if I'm just a cunt? Danny Rick, you can do no wrong. Come here. I'll run my hands through your hair. I'll give you a big hug. You're not a cunt. You are the honey badger, and I love you. I'll do shoeies with you anytime. Yeah. So, another thing that I got upset about, they show Monaco. We get the scene of we got drivers in supercars this episode. We get both Lando. No, it was Ricardo. Ricardo was in a McLaren, which, by the way, I mean, clearly not the best car to be in, because when Danny Rick had the suicide doors open, he didn't know what to do with his hands to shut it. I mean, I saw it. He just kind of like used a finger and just like awkwardly pointed down on where he thought a handle should be. I mean, come on, McLaren. You got to come up with a better design than that. But so we get that scene. Then we get Lando, or Charles Leclerc, Ferrari driver, drive around with signs in Monaco. Carlos is like, "Bro, I can't believe you live here. You live here your whole life." And he's just like, "Yeah, I know. It's kind of weird. But what can you do?" So driving around, red Ferrari in Monaco, small public streets, wearing their Ferrari team polos, which have branding all over it, hats. In the camera, you can see they have a follow guy, or a follow team on scooters behind him. 2 guys wearing like full Ferrari race suits. And they pull up to a stop sign or something, and somebody says something to him in the car. Somebody was walking by. And I don't know if Charles was annoyed or just embarrassed, but he's like, "Yeah, I hate it when that happens," or, when I get noticed. It's like, dude, you're in a Ferrari in Monaco, wearing your Ferrari gear with a follow guy. Like, what do you think's gonna happen? Like, I'm surprised you're not getting mobbed. Anywhere else you would get mobbed, but it's Monaco, so they're probably used to that shit. Maybe that's the disconnect. He's like, come on, man. Like, come on. You know, this is my hood. Like, you know me. Like, it's the equivalent of me running across the street to Walmart because the baby's out of diapers or something in my freaking sweatpants. One of my coworkers sees me and tries to stop talking to me. It's like, come on, man. Like, look at me. Like, I'm doing my thing. I'm just trying. I'm cashing checks right now. Like, leave me alone. I'm doing chores, right? God, these guys in the worlds that they live in. One day, I would love to live in their miserable life shoes. Anyway, but yeah, I love that. This just kind of skimmed over that Charles gets pole in this episode. The main focus is McLaren, but Charles Leclerc for Ferrari got pole at Monaco, his home track, and the story, the part of it they showed was a car breaking down on his formation lap because of his crash, which comes up in a subsequent episode. I read ahead a little bit, but still, like, that's what I'm saying with the format of Try to Survive. You know, they're trying to do a lot, and it's a challenge, but it's tough to pretend. It's tough to make like an element of Charles Leclerc's car breaking down on the formation lap, and then not including, you know, the build up to that moment where he got pole, where he crashed in qualifying, thwarting Max Verstappen from taking what was rightfully his in his mind. So anyway, yeah, I mean, by no means is Drive to Survive perfect, but yeah, it does make your mind have to do some thinking back to how everything unfolded. Which, I mean, I guess Drive to Survive probably isn't made for the hardcore Formula One fan. It's made for the new to F1s, the binge watchers, you. I hope you. It's made for you. Come watch with us. Come watch with us. Well, and yeah, we'll have more people to tweet to. So yeah, I mean, you know, I think the episode ends with Lando getting another podium. I think he got third at Monaco. Max wins, bastard, which will be detailed in episode 3, I believe. But yeah, episode 2, pretty good. You know, for a Danny Rick episode, it felt kind of negative, which I'm not entirely thrilled about because the dude's Mr. Smiley. He did have some struggles though. So building up for a comeback story, maybe in subsequent episodes. I don't know. Depends on how much they delve into the other teams. Or, I mean, with the way the title fight was last season, is that going to be the main focus where they don't have to build up the personalities as much? I don't know, but yeah, I mean, to me, this episode didn't really do any favors to Ricardo, although he did, you know, he did have some good moments, especially when he said, maybe, what if I'm just a cunt? Very self-aware of him. He's not a cunt. But yeah, man, I like my smiling assassin smiling. So good things ahead. Good things ahead for Ricardo this season and in Drive to Survive. That's what I think. So hope you enjoyed this one. That's episode 2. It's going to wrap it up. We'll have more to come. Yeah, I'm going to be trying to release these pretty quick. So today is the 11th. Maybe I'm going to aim for 2 a day. We'll see what we can do. I got the little one that I got to take care of. But thank you for listening again at FCY Mixer on Twitter, the Mixer Podcast on iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you get it. And we have our YouTube channel. But feel free to reach out if you're new to F1. Hit me up. Let's chat. All right, guys. Toodaloo.